Hi guys, it's Tracy. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different and I'm going to be talking to you about my go-to dies for card making. These are the dies that I go to when I want to make a card for somebody. Corin Wiskman started this crafty tag and I was tagged by Mary Polanco. I hope I've pronounced your name correctly, Mary. Here are a few of the videos from other participants in the tag Ride or Dies 18, and I've been looking forward to doing my video very much. Initially I wanted to follow the format that Corin used where she went into categories of her dies, but I've decided to go rogue, sorry Corin, and do things a little bit my own way. I'm going to be showing you guys my favourite dies and also the projects I have done with them. Interactive dies are the dies that I first reach for when I go to make a card. Karen Burniston makes some fantastic dies that have a pop-up feature and things like that, and they are the dies that I generally reach for first. They have such a wow factor when you give them to someone, and I love the look on people's faces when they open up one of these cards. It brings me such joy. This first set is a twist panel pop card. The die sets that Karen makes, she puts in extra bits and pieces for you so that you can complete your card that you are making. There are hearts and banners and tags in this particular set, which helps in your completion of your card. Here is a card that I made using the twist panel pop-up card that I thought I'd like to show you. This little flowers and bees set is also from Karen Burniston, and I also used that on the twist panel pop-up card. It has flowers and leaves and a bee. On to the next die set, and is the spinner square pop-up. This is probably the most used die set that I use of Karen's. It has a speech bubble and also a die here that cuts out photo corners. It has the mechanism and some various square shapes and a rectangle as well. As I said, this is one I use quite a lot, and this is a sample of a card that I made just recently where the flower pops out with the bee on it. This die set is a pop-up castle, great for little girl cards, and I did actually make a card using this die set for my boss's daughter for her 6th birthday. Here it is here. Definitely went over very well with a 6-year-old. You could also make it for a boy. This die set creates a 3-dimensional pop-up cake, and it has the pieces for the cake die on the back. The spots or circles here that are on the die, you could use that as a stencil. You could sponge ink over that on your die onto the paper to create circles when you make your card. Here's one that I've made. I didn't use the stencil, I just put it together as the die was. Very effective when you give that to someone. Now this one's my favourite. It's the pop-up tent die. So much fun and so easy to put together as well, and such a wow factor when you give it to someone. I actually made it for my dad. It has different pieces in there for the campfire, the tree stump, the rocks, the guide rope holes for the ropes. As I said, I made it for my dad. This is the one I made for my dad. I did it in army style. Made the tent look pretty cool with some camo net over the top with the fire. And this was another one that I've made as well using different designer series paper. Very cool. On to the next interactive die that I like to use. It's only new. I've only used it once and made one card. It's from Lawn Fawn, and it's a reveal wheel die set, and there's also the sentiment stamp set that goes with it, which I had to have. As I said, I've only made the one card so far, but I do plan on making more. Very easy to put together and so much fun. This is the card that I made using the reveal wheel with a safari type theme to it, and the sentiments that you can change by turning the wheel. So much fun. Now on to my next favourite interactive card that I like to make, and this is from My Favourite Things, and it's the maze. I was a little bit late coming to the party on these mazes. They've been out for a little while, but once I saw them I couldn't resist. You can get the maze shapes, you can get the circle shaker pouches for them, and also the little maze spheres. I've got black and white maze shapes, And the little spheres that go inside are the little balls you move around to get to the middle of the maze. I'll show you a couple of cards that I've made using that. I apologise for the glare from my lights onto the front of the circle shaker pouches. It's not so bad on this card, but on the next one I show you it's very annoying. This one's for a boy, done in army style. As I said, the glare's pretty bad on this one. I tried to bring it in a bit closer so you wouldn't see as much glare, but it still was pretty bad. But I love those cards, they're so cool. Next, I'd like to show you some dies that I got from Paper Rose Studio here in Australia. Paper Rose Studio do some fantastic Australiana dies that I couldn't resist buying. This one is with a bushman with his horse, and what I did with this die, I cut it out of black cardstock and I made it look like the night sky, and you push the bushman and one of the stars lights up, and I used Chibitronics to do this, which is so cool, and I made the background using Distress Oxide ink pads to make it look like a sunset. Then I got a little bit more adventurous and did a bigger one and did 3 stars that light up in the night sky by pushing the horse. I was pretty happy with how that turned out. The next die I want to show you is this one with a kangaroo, koala and a cockatoo in a forest. A great die to use on ink blended backgrounds as well. But I used this die to make a birthday card for a friend of mine, and I incorporated pictures of his dog. He was just telling me today that he still likes to show this card to his friends. This is a waterfall style card done in a sideways orientation so that the pages flip over like in a book. Such a fun card to make, and it was very, very well received. I did actually add pictures to the other side of the photos, so there was actually 12 pictures in total in this waterfall card instead of the 6 shown. This next die is the men sitting on the fence. This is a great die again for cutting out of just black cardstock and putting on an ink blended background. Or you can use a photo like I have here, and it looks fantastic as well. So great for doing cards for guys. They're very hard to do cards for, and something I do struggle with, but I love the way these turn out. This is another die with the silhouette style, which is great with black cardstock, and this one's from Crafts For You, and this is the bushman sitting by his fire. I love how this one turns out too, and I've done that one on a photo type background. It looks so realistic. And I did one also on a Distress Oxide background, giving the look like it's in the outback. This tree die is a die that I borrowed off a friend, and it fitted in well with the scene. Back to Paper Rose Studio, and they have these terrific football dies for the AFL, which is the Australian Football League. We have the jersey die, and we also have the die with the cup, the footballer, the football and the boots. These dies are great for making cards for the football supporters in your life, and you can make the jerseys for any team that you like. And at the moment I'm working on this project for my husband to go in his bar. He's a Richmond Tigers supporter, which is the yellow and black jersey. And his friend is an Essendon supporter with the red and black, and his other mate is the one with the red, black and white. I'm still at a loss as what to do up the top there, so it's still very much a work in progress, and eventually it will be framed and be hanging in his bar. The Ton is another company that I love buying their dies, and they have such a great range also of layering stamps, which give very realistic look. I loved this pop-up die and had to make a card with it, and look at that, how fantastic with the butterfly popping up. Who wouldn't love to receive that? Next up is this layering die set. It's a rose layering die set, and it's from Altenew. It shows you there the guide on how to layer both the rose and the leaf that comes in the set. And I loved this die set, and I made a card that I saw in a magazine that comes from the UK, and I had to give that card a go. The one that was in the magazine inspired me so much. I was very happy with the way mine turned out. Details on that magazine are here. Speaking of magazines, that's craft magazines, that come with dies and embossing folders and stamps. I got this one just the other day and it shows various alcohol and drink type stamps and images. It has a matching die set. Comes from Apple Blossom in the UK, and there's also an embossing folder there for a great background. I'm looking forward to using this die set very much. It's probably going to be a favourite of mine too. And here's the details of the magazine that it came with. Before I finish up here with my Ride or Dies 18, I thought I'd like to share with you a couple of my new purchases recently that are sure to become favourites. This set here is part of the new July release from Concord and Ninth. I just love Concord and Ninth. The quality of their products is outstanding. And I can't wait to start using these. The other purchase I made is from Tim Holtz, and it's the Tonic Glass Media Mat, and today I used it on my video for the first time and I'm very happy with it so far. It's such a beautiful glass surface to work on. Well, that's it guys for my Ride or Dies 18. I hope you've enjoyed my video and the projects that I made using my favourite dies at the moment. And a big thank you to Corin Wiskman for starting the Ride or Dies tag, and also to Mary Polanco for tagging me so that I could take part. Thanks for watching guys. Please visit my blog if you get a chance, and if you'd like to subscribe to my channel I would love that. I do plan to do more videos in the future. Have a great day. Bye.